Greetings, hello, and welcome everyone. Welcome to Dev Chatter. I'm glad to see some people made it out today. It's just surprise stream, so we'll see where this one goes. Let me go ahead and update. I've got a couple of things I need to adjust here real quick. I need to fix the stream information because I haven't updated it. So what are we doing today? We are doing a refactoring kata. Refactoring kata. Refactoring kata in C#. Okay. That should be updated. Hey, welcome, Code with Sean, Greendolf, Rexy. Glad to see everybody here. Yes, I am still alive. Rumors of my demise are greatly exaggerated. Glad to see people here. Give me a second while I adjust a couple of other things on the stream. I want to get the description box updated as well. Let's see. Attempting a refactoring kata. And let me see if I can find the link to that. It is the Lift Pass Refactoring Kata. Sorry about any sound on the mic there. Just moving it around. So I want to put a link to this in here in case anybody wants to have a look. Let's put it in. Does that fit okay? Not quite. Let me shrink it down a little bit. Yeah, I promise I know how to do these things. Other header, unlock. Description box needs to be unlocked or I can't do it. There we go. Excellent. Excellent, excellent. Let me make my chat box a little bit bigger. Scott Doc, hey, greetings! Haven't seen you in a while. Welcome, Sir S&B. Glad to, hey, and it's real S&B. That's awesome. Welcome, S&B. Who else do we have in here? Well, that's totally fine. Yep, lurking. It is definitely later for the people on the other side of the pond. One of your favorite. I'm not a current teammate of yours. Former teammate. Thank you very much. But I am glad I'm one of your favorites. Glad to have you here too, Scott. Sean, you have a request. At some point, will you make a video on YouTube or else we're talking? Yes! Coding with Sean, yes. So you're talking about... So I've been making YouTube videos lately, so if you are not following my YouTube channel, go to youtube.com/c/devchatter. You can find a link to the YouTube channel down below. I have been publishing regularly, so if you've got comments, questions, suggestions for future videos, toss those. You can mention them here, but also mention them on the videos. So I've been doing a series of cool stuff in Visual Studio Code that people may or may not know about, and I'm just like, yeah, I'll just make these series of videos. And I've been asking people, if you have suggestions for those, find one of my videos and comment on it and say, hey, you should do this feature as well. I actually already have a huge list of features that I'm planning on talking about in there, but if you've got other suggestions, tell me. I also want to go through cool stuff in both front-end dev, back-end dev, C#, JavaScript, TypeScript, all the various stuff. So yes, I do need to cover span because it is one of the coolest concepts. So yes, Code with Sean, thank you for that suggestion. If you are one of the people in my Discord, you can find information about my Discord down below again. There are links to join that. We've got a good community in there. We're actually some good conversations going on today and earlier this week as well. But one of the nice things that was going on over there is I was talking about the videos, and I suggested to people that you can actually take a look at my Trello board that I use for figuring out which videos I'm going to make. So you can actually see I've got a good-sized backlog of videos that I'm planning on making at some point. But I am churning through them. My goal is to stay far enough ahead, and at one point I was like 3 weeks ahead on videos, and then I got kind of busy, and I'm not 3 weeks ahead on videos anymore. But because it was funny, I would tell people, I'm like, yeah, I've already got that video in the works. It's not coming out for 2 weeks, but yeah, it's already there. Like, it's scheduled and ready to go live. I was actually doing a little bit of YouTube prep work before this one started. And don't worry, everyone, we'll get into the kata in a second. I just figured I'd talk to people for a minute while everybody shows up. I don't like starting katas right at the beginning of the stream, because then people show up and they're like, "Hey, I missed the beginning. What's this one about?" And so if we chit chat for a little bit, hey, this is Dev Chatter after all. We should be chatting. So I did a cool thing. I went through a nice tutorial for Adobe After Effects and figured out how to animate in my own little, like little subscribe thingy that, pops up, cursor comes onto the screen, clicks it, and, clicks the bell, and then, like one of those with sound effects and stuff. So I had a lot of fun doing that today. So I made one of those. So if that shows up in my YouTube channel pretty soon, know that I made that by hand in After Effects. So if it doesn't look as nice as it could, well, that's because I am not an expert in After Effects. But hey, I'm proud of myself because I did it. So, and I recommend to anybody, seriously, celebrate all the little stuff. It's one of the reasons when I was doing the, Learn to Code series on here years and years ago, I was telling people, seriously, you write a program that does some stupidly simple thing that's completely worthless. Hey, celebrate, that's awesome, it worked, you did it. You're learning a new testing framework. Hey, it went green, awesome. You should celebrate. Oh, nice try, Icy Black Deep. I see what you're trying there. Is it even running? Whoop! I can't spell yellow, but it is going. 1 second, let me try this. Did that refresh it? Orange, green, lime. Any colors? It's not. You know what? I'll rejoin that bot, and we'll see what happens. I tested it out last week, and it was working, so it should still be good. Hello from the bot. There you go. White. Yellow, lime. It doesn't want to go right now. Okay, so either way, that what that means is these background lights are going to be red all stream. Sorry, everybody, you're gonna have to deal with that. It's okay though. All right, so let's talk about this kata, because it is one that I've been meaning to do on stream for a little while. I actually had to custom make my own version of it, and let's talk about why. So at one point in the past, I was planning on doing this kata on stream, and then I pulled it up. We were going to start, and I was like, I want to go in fresh. I don't want to know anything about this. I want to just try it from zero on stream. And then I ran into a problem. I opened this up, and the first thing that I see is okay, installation, set up MySQL database. And I'm like, excuse me? What? Okay, I get that it's refactoring kata, but requiring someone to set up a MySQL database as part of the setup of the kata is, kind of barrier that's gonna make me not do this kata. So I tossed it. I said, no, we're not gonna do it. I called an audible. I did a different kata. However, I want to do this one. So what I did outside of the stream was I took this kata and I changed it. So I made my own version of this kata. And by my own version, I mean I came in here into this prices class that it's got right here, and I did something. You'll notice we don't have a dependency on MySQL anymore. I switched it so that we now have a dependency on Sqlite. So, if you're not familiar with Sqlite, let me give the brief intro just so that we don't leave anybody behind. Sqlite is we'll call it a very simple database. You can actually use it for production, despite some people that will probably be like, oh, no. It's usually used for testing, prototyping, that sort of thing. It's a basic database, and it doesn't really run like a big server installation on your machine. You usually, for most languages, supports more than just C#, but the C# implementation, for example, is just some DLLs that you include into your project. Once you've got that, essentially what you end up with is some class libraries that sort of let you act on a database file using SQL. So it's storing the data in a file, and you access it using the structured query language, right? And so if you want to not use a database but use a database, so it's really good for, hey, I want to have database style storage that uses SQL, but I don't want to actually have a database that has to get installed, this is the answer. So if you're building a kata that's supposed to emulate the idea of having a real database as your backend, use SQLite. So in our refactoring kata, guess what I used? So we're not done with that one yet, but I used SQLite. Hey, almost like that's a good idea. Okay, if you had to do it that way, you would have put it in a container for sanity. Yes, so Cal Raven, they do mention that you can do a container, but yes, I agree. You should do a container if you're going to do it that way, but I still find that annoying that you'd need to go through that point. Terrible way to do a kata. Just put it in SQLite and forget about it, and just say, hey, it's only in SQLite because this is a kata, not the real one, but that should be close enough for what we're doing. We're trying to, deal with refactoring the code, not messing with a database. It doesn't matter what the backend is. That's not part of the kata. Yes, it's flat file storage, Cal Raven. Okay. So, yep, exactly. Yes, you're going to find in a lot of katas, especially refactoring katas, you're going to find things that are security risks and other stuff like that as well, in addition to just, spaghetti code. And yes, SQLite is great for this kind of stuff. You gave up last time you tried to get Link to SQL to work with SQLite. Yeah, so Icy Black Deep, I'm not saying that you should go around using SQLite with every library you've got out there. Some of them just aren't going to work. But this one came to us using the MySQL connection. And so I was like, well, this is perfect for switching to sorry about that. I'm going to lower my volume a little bit. I was thinking this is perfect for switching from, the MySQL connections over to SQLite, and we can easily just make it, much simpler. And yes, exactly. Yes, Cal Raven. Yep, 100%. It should just be, Docker for it. And if you have a look, they do somewhere it says they have that. Ah, yes, if you have Docker installed. See, so they do have that in the instructions, but I'm not doing that. Okay. So let's talk about the kata. So it is lift pass pricing. So I'm assuming that you want to go on this lift, and there's some amount of money that we're going to have to pay to be able to get a pass to ride on the lift. I don't know if it's like one-time passes or like anything like that. We're going to find out. So with all these refactoring katas, you take the assumption this is someone else's code. You don't really know what's supposed to be going on with it. You're not supposed to be familiar with it, but some feature needs to change. Probably the person that wrote this, maybe they're gone, maybe they're still around but don't have time to work on it. Who knows? You've been assigned to work on this. And so what do we got? The application involves solving a problem of calculating the pricing for ski lift passes. There's some intricate logic linked into what kind of lift pass you want, your age, and the specific date at which you'd like to ski. Okay, that makes sense. Prices vary based on age and specific date, because kids usually get cheap tickets. There's a new feature request to be able to get the price for several lift passes, not just one. Currently, the pricing for a single lift pass is implemented. Unfortunately, the code as it is designed is not reusable. Okay, so basically they're telling me it's garbage code to begin with. You can only buy one pass at a time, and we're supposed to be able to buy multiples. You can put some high-level tests in place in order to do preparatory refactoring so that the new feature requires a minimum effort to implement. I agree with that. I don't like the fact that this kata is sort of guiding me in how to solve it, because one of the things I like is with refactoring katas, you have people try it 3 different ways. You say, okay, try the approach where you just add tests to the whole thing so that nothing changes and you lock in every feature. You have the try testing just the things you're about to change just to try to prevent any errors from that. And then you have the try going in without without the test and see what happens. Hey, who dares? Welcome. Yep. Generally a fan of SQLite. Yes, exactly. I'm a big fan of SQLite. I think it's great for these kinds of things. If you're just prototyping something, grab SQLite. It's the answer. Okay. So, what am I done? There are a few steps. You could do any of them. Cover with high-level tests. Nope. Refactor the code to maximize unit testability and reuse for the new feature. Nope. Pull down most of the high-level tests. And then implement the new feature. Yeah, okay. So, hey, Coated Beard, welcome. So here's what I'm going to try. First off, I'm going to try running the code to see if what we have actually does anything. If I didn't screw it up, we should be able to get it running. Greendolf, greetings, welcome. If it works, then what I'm going to want to do is have a look at the code and figure out where I need to change things. In looking at that, I'm hoping I can figure out if there's a test or two that we can add to this. If there is, then I'm going to try to put in a test and then maybe make some changes. Now, one of the tips that I give most people when they're in this situation in the real world or when they're doing refactoring katas is try to see if there are what I would call safe refactorings. So for most code, things like extracting a variable into a method is pretty safe. You need to look and make sure that there's nothing weird with like member side effects weirdness and no one's doing any crazy reflection. So as long as that kind of stuff's not happening, you're pretty safe extracting code into methods. And that's usually the best way to start getting some semblance of control before you write tests. One of the classic ones is the Gilded Rose kata. And in that one, because they instantiate the program like class where your main is the starting point, they create that in the like you're in the static main and they create an instance of program, and so you're like, wait, how am I supposed to test this? And the answer is you're not supposed to. So they were pretty much require in that one that you test immediately. I hope it does not throw that at me, Greendolf. If it does, that would be terrible. All right, let's have a look at the code. So step one, we are on this as our running project. Let me try just Control F5, see what happens. I think it's a console app. Let's find out. Okay, here we go. Okay, it's a website. Okay. As I said, I haven't tried that. I tried not to mess with this. Okay, hang on. Nope, that is the wrong one. There we go. Localhost 5001. Okay, I got a 404. Let's see. So I came here. What did it say in here? You can open the prices. Okay, so this is an API. All right, there we go. Okay. So it looks like what it gives us in this kata to start off with is an API, which is a little bonkers. Not totally crazy, but whew. All right, so all we built was an API apparently. Cool. There's the API. So it's a night pass, age 23, and that's the date. Okay, cool. How did that work? As I told you, I didn't look at this at all. Yeah, no, APIs are fantastic, but it just makes this task a little bit harder. Okay, so this is what they wanted me to test, was that. Yep, okay, so yeah, it just starts up one of these. Cool. So, prices. Get. Alright, so I'm looking at the code now. I didn't really look at it before. I just copy-pasted everything out of here. Alright, I'm not gonna stand for that. int32, no. No, we're not using int32. I don't care. I don't care, we're not doing it. Complain all you want. Okay, this is something. Woo! So we have a put on prices. I'm just going to hide that away for now. We have a get on prices. And then, regardless in our response, we are setting the content type to JSON. That seems fine. None of this seems all that crazy. I don't like that the code is just kind of in here like this. Um, oh, yeah, so S&B, I am working with a client that's trying to move from old .NET framework like web forms onto .NET 6, and oh, I wish everything had been on Net Core. It would have been a lot smoother, but yeah. Very scared if you ever see any of my code will be eaten alive for not being nice and clean. Bright side, though, I comment most things well. Yeah. No, I try not to be too critical of people's code, and part of the reason why, especially other developers when I find it, now this is intentionally bad, but most bad code is not written because the developer is bad. The most bad code is written because the expectations put on said developer were a little crazy. So you get things like, we had this deadline and we had to do it, or I was required to do it this way. So that's usually why code ends up getting bad. No, SMB. This isn't. We're not making the bad one. That's a different kata. This one is fix it. And yes, there's all kinds of stuff. Okay, so here's what we got. We've got. So let's have a look at getting prices for now. So I think putting prices is. Yeah, this is how we add the new ones. So we were not told to mess with that. And for that reason, I don't want to touch it unless we have to. Yeah, sorry, S&B. I know. I had a lot of fun making the really evil stuff. That's a different episode. We'll be back to that. I just needed to take a quick chance to do this one. So this does a couple of things. So first off, I want to extract some variables. And why do I want to extract some variables? Because extracting some variables is going to make some things a lot easier. So I am really happy this exists. I don't remember if I made any of these as part of my refactoring to get SQLite in here, because I did it a while ago. But this, if it were like just inline using these or something like that, would be a beast. So I'm glad that there is a thing that extracts the parameters. So that's good. Request is a request. Query is a dynamic. Okay. That's something. Okay. We parse it out. Int parse. Well, that's dangerous, but I'm gonna trust that we're not getting bad values, and that's not gonna be what I'm trying to protect against. Because I don't need. Keep in mind for a refactoring kata, bugs that exist beforehand, you don't need to fix. You can, but you do not need to fix them. You can leave a bug in that you know is there already, because you're working on something else. Now, realistically, if this were code for your company, you should fix those. Okay, next thing I'm seeing here, we grab the type parameter here. I also noticed that we're doing some of these inside of the using and some of them outside of it. I kind of want to change this. So let me have a quick look at this, and we'll see if there's any reason I can't. Oh my god! we're so far to the right. We're so far to the right. Oh, oh, oh! I feel like I've been attacked. Oh, okay. Yeah, this is great. Great code. Okay. So I don't see any reason that this can't be up here. So I'm going to put it up there, because what I'm kind of feeling right now is I almost want to like get the query parameters as a separate thing, test that, and then not touch it for a bit, because I think one of the big changes we're going to have on get prices is how we get the parameters, and then the other part is going to be how we figure out the pricing. So I think if we can get parameters pulled out, we can find out how many tickets we need to have. So that's a fairly safe refactoring right there. This being on this object does make that a little bit challenging, but I kind of want to make this SQL be separate. So let's make a const string. Let's call it price query. And we'll just give it this. Okay. Price query. Okay, so the reason I call these like safe refactorings is it's pretty easy to just create variables, and you can. I tell people, trust yourself to not make a mistake when extracting variables and extracting methods. Now, realistically, I should have done that with like a refactoring tool command to do that, but I was chatting, so welcome to Dev Chatter, where we do the dev chattering. Okay, so this creates a command here and then uses it. I think our connection's getting opened up here at the beginning, because regardless of which one of these actions we're taking, we're going to use the connection. We just use a different command depending on which one we're in. So it looks like the only parameter that we got was type. Did I even pass that in? Type, night. Okay. Okay. So this must be to get all of the base prices for a specific time. Okay. This is the nighttime costs. Okay. What happens after this point to this command? Does it get used again? No. No, it doesn't. I don't think so. Does it? Oh, it makes a new command here. What? This command was only used here? Okay. You gotta be kidding me. Let me just, Is it just 5 times? It's just these. Okay. I am going to again do a small refactoring before we fix anything else, because that piece looks testable to me. Hang on. Smart ASCII is here, and I need to say hello to Smart ASCII, because I like talking to Smart ASCII. So give me a second to just do that. I'm going to fix the indentation with a Control KD. Yes, Smart ASCII. Those are in fact lightsaber displays behind me. I have other ones up here and more over there too. I do like them. I've been eyeing a set of displays from the movie Your Name. And anybody that's in the chat, if you haven't seen Your Name, go watch that. It literally, the movie is YOUR space NAME, and yeah, I can spell. Very good movies. One of my favorites. Yeah, it's it might definitely one of my favorite movies. Period. So it's very, very good. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's great. Okay. So from here, I think this alone can now be a method. So let's pull this out into a method. Now, even if we don't individually test this, this should be a method. Do I even have refactoring tools on here? So I was going to try to do this without ReSharper, but man, I don't even remember how to refactor without ReSharper. Like, what do people do? What do all of you do without the tools that just do the job for you? Like, I think I used to know how to code. Extract method. This is something like do something. Yeah, there we go. See, I figured it out. Now, this got back result. Were we not using result? Hang on a second. Hang on. Back this up a minute. Are you telling me, before I change this, that we hadn't been using result? No, okay, we are. We are. Okay. I was about to say, that's just crazy. Okay, so we do need to declare the variable before we come in here, and then it does it. Okay. So we are doing this, and now when I run this little bit here, now it should say when I do my extract method, yeah, okay. So this is get base price for type. This piece here is now really should not be called result, and I'm gonna fix that. So we're gonna say base type cost. Actually, it was cost, wasn't it? Not price. Allow me to fix my naming. You get base cost for type. Okay, and this is not going to be a parameter. I'm putting this back in. I am still going to leave it as a... Oh, that is weird. No, just return out of here, guys. Come on. I disagree with you. Return out of there. Okay. I still like having the query separated like that. The query string and that and this. And there we go. Okay, so now we have that as a method. We can separately test that piece. And again, the logic should not have changed. Let me see. The int parse is driving me insane. Yeah, Coded Beard, you gotta calm down. Refactoring katas, you don't wanna mess with them too much. Right? I try not to move any logic. What I try to do is just extract things into methods and rename where I can. Fuel Snable is totally valid. Yeah, the problem with using any of those tools, now I love them. I love ReSharper, I love CodeRush, I love all of those tools. Is you get really used to all their keyboard shortcuts. Your brain is really the one deciding, like, what am I doing? Like, because it's not really coding for you, because you're like, yeah, I need this extracted into a method. Yeah, it not only is it an int parse without a culture, but it's just a raw parse in there. It's not a try parse. We're not checking that value at all. We're just like, if that's not a if that's not a number, we are just crashing right there. So whatever. You gotta love that. Yeah, exceptions. Yeah. Now, the funny thing is, in most cases, I would tell people, don't throw exceptions, don't catch exceptions. Exceptions are supposed to be the exceptions. Like, if you could just handle it, it shouldn't be an exception, because then it's not exceptional. Yeah. Yeah, there's a bit of craziness in here. Sorry, I need to look at what the error was. It told me there were 2 errors. Could not... Oh, whoops. I was like, what are the errors? Oh, right, I'm running this right now. Let's go ahead and stop the program. Okay. Crashing the container is never the... That is true. Don't crash the container. Okay, so it looks like, you know, at least that check still works. Out of curiosity, I didn't even look. I didn't think this thing had tests, does it? Oh, it does kind of have a test. Yeah, okay. That is technically a test. It says call prices, construct some proper URL parameters. Okay. I don't know what this is going to do. Did I get a 404? Is that why it failed? You know what? Get out of here, reference thingy. Let's see. So they do have actually, so looking at this, it looks like they actually had some high-level tests on here, so I could add 1 or 2 just for this section for the get prices. Does something on line 36. What is it not like? Execute scalar on that? Oh, probably because my parameter's bad, isn't it? Null reference exception on that. I bet that's the problem. I bet we can't cast that because the result came back null or something like that. Let's have a quick look. We'll debug in, take a look, figure out why the test is failing. Hey! Let's see. Socket exception is another exception. Yeah. Your colleagues recently released a new API that is using exceptions for control. Oh, Coated Beard, I'm so sorry. Yes, that is a terrible idea. Terrible, terrible, terrible. Yeah, exactly. Never, never, ever throw exceptions in an API unless something really went wrong. An exception in an API should be like, there is something wrong on this server. It needs to get fixed immediately. That should never be control flow. If you're gonna, if so on an API, it's super important that you just return back the correct, either, you know, someone at one point was like, yeah, this API, they're returning all 200s, and it's like, okay, yeah, I guess you can do that too. Anyway, what do we got? So what was our type parameter? Nothing. So that's why. So we should set the type parameter. So let's fix their high-level test, because it looks like they gave us a busted test. Construct some proper URL parameters here. With... what do we got? Is it query? String key value. Okay. Type. Night, I think, is the one we've seen. Let's have a look. Type equals night. All right, let's run our does something test and see what we get. Return 200 OK, message 500 internal server. Yeah, exactly, Cal Raven. Exactly. Caller sends a bad request to the API. They don't just return 400. They throw an exception with the error message bad request. Yeah, so that's the problem is when throwing an exception, that should mean that something actually went wrong that's not handleable. And thus you shouldn't have that in the log necessarily. If depending. There are some circumstances where you maybe could, but in general cases, if you just got the wrong parameter, unless it's like something is really confused and they're just using the API completely incorrectly, and it's just, you know, a normal circumstance, it should be that what happens is it just returns back with an error message. Like, you could log it if you needed to, but there shouldn't actually be an exception. Because that's additional work that we don't actually need. Okay, expected 35, actual 0. Hey! It's failing without an error. So no exception, just an error. That's perfect. Okay. So 35 is probably correct, and the reason I say that is price of 19 doesn't sound crazy for that. We just need to check the age of the person. So what if I pass in an age of 23? Age of 23 and that. So let's try passing in the full parameter set. We'll match what they did exactly. Because this is what we've seen from the beginning, is that this works. So this should get us the same result that we got from navigating there by ourselves. We may need to open up the database to look for additional data so we can figure out what these should be. None of your other APIs work like that. They just used OData for the first time, and the example had throw instead of bad request. Yeah, that is why it is super dangerous as someone that... So, I make content on the internet. I do this here. Usually if I'm doing something that's non-standard or weird, I try to tell people that. I try not to do that kind of stuff in blog posts. I try to do it the right way. Again, if I'm not doing it the right way, I usually try to tell people, hey, I'm not doing this the right way because this is an example. So, all right, so adds that query string, adds that query string, adds that query string. I didn't mix those up, did I? They're key and value. Yep, they're not value key. So we expected that and we got that. JSON, put something here. Oh, cost. No, response. Cost. Why couldn't they make the test just work for like this one case? They could have this one and be done with it and not worry about it. Okay. Yeah, see, the value shouldn't be 35, it should be 19 because we adjusted to that, but now it failed for the right reason. So now we got... Hopefully, there we go, green. Okay, cool. Now let's continue on just a little bit. So we have a test that covers that case. Why don't we... You know what? I'm going to pull up SQLite Database Explorer. Let me see if I can find this project. Where are we? We are... Hang on. Solution Explorer. Open this. Open folder. Where are we? We're in here. Database? No. C#. Where did I put the database? Brendan, where did you put the database? Brendan, where did you put the database? Found it. Okay, I found it. Calm down, everybody. I found the database. There's no one left the database lying around here. Okay, good. Browse data. All right. So I don't know what one. Does that mean one day? Does that mean day like the whole day? Is that what that means? Yeah, 1 day. Okay. So they're saying it's a 1 day pass or just the night, I guess is what the split is. Okay. That's for the base prices. If you hit a holiday, okay, the description of the holiday is winter. I don't know if that's a starting point or like if you chose that specific day. That 1 day is winter. We get 1 day of winter a year. We don't deal with that 3-month stuff. We just have 1 day of winter. All right, so that looks like what we've got. I don't see in the database any reference to kids' prices, so my assumption is then that we take the base price and alter it for like a kids, or maybe there's a senior discount. I don't know. 1 day of winter is oh, ASCII. I don't believe that for a second. They don't really get winter in Texas. You've lived in the north now. You know what winter really is. The temperature we've got right now is what the Texans I worked with all thought winter was. They're like, oh yeah, it's 60 degrees? Oh, I'm freezing. And I'd be down there and I'd be like, I hate you. It's like 140 degrees down here and like my sweat is like like, yeah, this is always silly. Yes, yeah. You know, you can say that, but we really don't get 6 months of winter here. You just don't like fall and spring, apparently. Okay. Summer in Norway, the best day of the year. Thanks, Fuel Stable. Glad to hear it. Yeah. Admittedly, I don't mind cold places. The trick with, being in a cold place is you just, bundle up and you're okay. Like, you put on some layers and go outside and it's totally fine. When I worked in Texas, because I did work for a company in Texas for a couple of years, and they were bringing me down there pretty regularly. So I was there in the summer, and I can tell you, like, I cannot remove any extra layers. A dark, rainy place? I don't really want a dark, rainy place. But you're right. There are, like, the further north you go, the worse you get with, like, the really bright periods and the really dark periods, which is also a little weird. Okay, so we've got this test in place. Let's see if we can do something else. Let's see. What is this? It is prices... Price API should. We're renaming this. Because renaming is a valid thing that I'm allowed to do without breaking stuff. Am I still in the middle of a test? Why is it underlining this? Renaming requires restarting the application. What are you smoking? I'm not. Am I debugging? Oh, I'm debugging. Must be debugging, right? No, I'm not. I don't know why it's saying that. Huh. Yeah, I know, right? That's kind of an embarrassing reload requirement there. But yeah, it looks like it spins up like a browser test thing to be able to test the API, which is totally fine. That's a reasonable way of doing it. So anyway, Price's API should, what do we want to say? Return base price when non-holiday. Why don't we say for adult on non-holiday? So again, it doesn't like the, I wonder why it doesn't like that. I don't want to restart the app. I just want to be able to rename a method. That's crazy, guys. Quit underlining stuff. So return base price for adult on non-holiday makes sense. And now you're saying, wait a minute, Brendan. You only tested that one case. Okay, fine. I'll go test the other one. Thanks. So we're going to do a theory. And we're going to do some inline data. And our data is going to be night. And night, we said, was 19. And one day was that the one that was 35? That one's 35. So now this is string type and int, I guess base price. You know what, I'm just calling it expected. There we go. That's expected. Oh, you have no idea. Okay, so we were working on a refactoring kata previously, and one of the things that we did that was intentionally evil is we were conflating the terms prices and cost, and while we're doing this, I'm noticing that that's in this kata too, and it's getting me because I'm just like, price and cost are two entirely separate terms. They do not mean the same thing. You should not conflate them. Ooh, yes. Very, very dangerous. Okay, side note, the records in C# don't expose the underlying clone method by making it a weird name, which C# can't invoke. F# can, though, so if you want to clone your records, do it from F#. Okay, Fuel Snamble, that's hilarious. That falls into the same line as, like, there are... So, I don't know if you know this, but there are a number of features that are supported by .NET, but not by C#. So, if you write code that modifies your IL after it's compiled, there are a whole bunch of things that you can make .NET do that C# doesn't let you do. So it's terrible stuff that you shouldn't do, but it's fun to see because it's neat to watch that stuff work. Can't Fly, greetings, welcome. You haven't been here in a long time. Then again, I haven't streamed in a long time. What's your favorite method for dates and times? Method for dates? What do you mean by a method? Like method for creating them? Way to handle them? I like Nota Time. Nota Time is a very good library for dealing with date times in C#. Also keep in mind that they added like a date only and a time only. Though they didn't do it perfectly, they do have those now. There's a little bit of weirdness with them, and I kind of wish they'd implemented them a little bit differently, but I am thankful that we have them now. So it's hard to complain too much when they give us new things that we wanted. Okay. Let's go ahead and run the tests again. See what we end up with. Ooh, it failed. Why did it fail? Oh, fact and theory. Yay! Go, Brendan! Woo! Uh, okay, can't fly. Yeah, 2 years. That sounds about right. I was gonna say, like, I remember you, but I can't remember the last time I saw you here. So yeah, 2 years makes sense. I haven't been streaming enough lately. It was probably a lot. I don't remember when I went inactive. It was. Wait a minute. It was 2 years ago. Do you know how I know it was 2 years ago? Because my last stream was about a week before my youngest was born, and he turns 2 tomorrow. So, yeah, exactly. Cal Raven's right. Yep, I had a kid. Yep. Those are the ones that give it when you're like, yeah. So, yeah, thank you. It's pretty good. Oh, that reminds me. Pretty to talk. I was gonna. I've been meaning to send you a picture, of the older one. Man, that kid is. It's funny. Like we got a picture sent over to him. Not that I'm gonna show pictures of my kids on my stream, but my oldest has like these just bright blue eyes, and they sent him this picture. He's wearing this like bright blue jacket, and it's just funny because like his eyes are just like you're just like those eyes are the same color as that jacket. You're like, man, like like congratulations, kid, you lucked in on that one. Kids are doing great. Parenting's good as always. Do I use an ergonomic keyboard? Yes, I use one of these. I have been using these. This is the Microsoft Sculpt. You'll notice it's quite worn in. Um, this is my. I've used a few of these, so I used some different ones before. I do really like this one. I've used wired ones as well as wireless ones. In some of my previous jobs, they were like, "Yeah, pick the keyboard you want," and so like the company owned it, and I left it there with them. But yeah, I usually pick stuff like this. I like the split, and they look hi, so they work pretty well. Um, yes, exactly. Yeah, no, it's actually a decent shape. You know, it gets pretty good spot on your hand. Don't try to game with it. It's a little bit weird. And it does not like for coding. You don't mind the fact that there is a tiny bit of latency. Like it's imperceptible most of the time. If you are gaming, it is suddenly noticeable. So I just have a gaming keyboard. I just grab and plug in when I'm gaming, and then and then you're like, yeah, all right, everything's normal. So okay, so these work, that passes, that's good. We have the basic. Let's write a quick test because I don't think this actually is doing as much as I thought it was. I thought there was more going on here. So let's try a holiday. Let me go take a look at the code and see what a holiday is supposed to do. So the one thing I don't like is this kata is not really explaining how it's supposed to work. So let me look for holiday in here. Okay. So select star from holidays. Yeah, execute reader. Read the holidays, get the date, and check the date. Yeah, we should pull this at the top just to get all the parameters again. And then parse the date out of the request in that format. Hey, look! They used culture! Look at that! Someone was complaining at the beginning of this stream that an int parse didn't have culture. But at least on the date parse they did, because man, would that have been a problem. Okay. So then it checks to... Oh, what? I love this code. Look at that. Make sure the year, month, and date match each individually. I don't know if you know this, but you can get the date part of these two things and just compare that. You know, at least if you're going to do it this way, toss it in a method or something. So we'll say it is a holiday. So let's see how it used is holiday later on. If it was a holiday and, oh no, and the day of the week. Oh no. No. Reduction equals 35. I don't even know what that means. Okay, so we're parsing the date again. Oh no. No, 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 no. Yeah, no, everybody has suffered from someone. So okay, just for any of the beginners that are in the stream here, one of the big differences between someone who is starting out in programming and someone who's been programming for a long time is not necessarily like skill and other things like that. There are fantastic beginner programmers that are better than people that have been programming for decades, and so don't really think that just because you're early that you can't write amazing stuff. You absolutely can. Um, the big difference is that everyone with decades of experience is sitting here with like so many memories of horrible, terrible things that someone has done in the past or seen in the past. So we are all scarred by the terrible stuff that we have seen. So I definitely inherited some code back in like 2005 from someone that 2005, yeah, 2005. I inherited a code base that was just riddled with SQL injection attacks, for example, also, and that was so. Like speaking of refactoring stuff, um, so that was just yeah, that's where we all are. All of us have these just crazy backgrounds of just stuff that would just melt your brain. It's just like, wait, what? Yes, yes, we've run into this. Yes. Okay, you had stuff that didn't impound on the street machines, had to switch to English. Look, nice, nice, Fuel Snable. Yeah, yep, yep, yep. Uh, yes, exactly. Code with Sean. Yep. You know, the funny thing is, there's, in case you're ever wondering, when I set up this channel, originally I actually set up only a YouTube channel. This was a long time ago, back in like 2015, 2016. I think I is when I started Dev Chatter officially, though I didn't stream or make videos or anything like that. I started creating it. I named it this way because I know that I was like, I want a stream where we chat about dev stuff. Yeah, we're gonna write code, but it's really about discussions of craziness and fun and just talking about what we like in programming. The whole reason it's Dev Chatter is we're gonna talk. So welcome to Dev Chatter. This is the place where we have Dev Chatter. So welcome. Uh, you fix it, I'll break it. You know this has got a .NET add package note of time. Yes, exactly. Yes. You are 100% correct. We'll just add note of time and not worry about it. Your favorite culture bug was a hang that happened more often in northern Norway? I wonder why that would be. All right, let's figure out what reduction is doing while we talk about that. Okay. So that is 35% reduction in, so 1 minus the reduction over 100. Oh man, yeah. Yep, so that's why we're Dev Chatter. We've been Dev Chatter since before Dev Chatter existed. And then at one point, so shortly after making it, the reason I created the YouTube channel first is because I looked into programming on Twitch, and I was like, can I stream on Twitch? And I ended up looking around, and I found stories of like Twitch streams getting like banned because like coding wasn't gaming, and apparently they were like not really for that. And then I looked back like I don't know, a year later, and Fritz started streaming, and I was like, oh, is that a thing now? And I looked, and I'm like, oh yeah, there's actually other streams there. Okay, yep, I'll jump in. And so then, like, I don't know, a month after C# Fritz started streaming, I started up our Dev Chatter stream as well. And started coding on here. So turns out that there was a very it's very slow in the program, never gotten started. Oh, that's funny. It's been quite a while since I touched C#. Is a date object like literally only the year? No, so can't fly. The date time objects that they're using here in this, they have the time on them. So these are a date time. They now do have a date object that does not have the time, and a time object that does not have the date. But that's a recent addition. Yes, it's called date only and time only. I talked about it a little bit earlier in the stream. I'm not going to put it in right now, but you'll see date only. So if we exchange for these, then some of this gets a little bit easier, because then you can compare a date to a date and not worry that there was a time value included as well. So we'll get to that later. That's a refactoring we'll want to do after we get this tested. So looks like that's a 35% discount that it would have there if it is set on a holiday. So let's check the holidays. We'll grab one of these. So if it was a holiday, so if it's winter, I love the winter holiday. Was that the correct date for winter holiday? One jour. I did get the winter holiday, right? 2019, 218, no 218. Hang on. Why didn't I get a discount? Where's my discount? If age is null, discount it. What? 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 Null? What? No. No. I'm so confused. What? If it's null, do that. So they're the same. They're the same. So it's basically if it's it's null, or if it's less than that. Okay, we duplicated the code for no reason. Okay. Yeah. Sorry, they did a good job. Good job making bad code. Thank you. Thank you, Kata creator. You have succeeded. You made my brain hurt. Like, it doesn't make sense. It's fine. Okay, if age is less than 15... Wait a minute. Kids don't get the holiday discount? That's better for the adults? Kids are always 70%? I'm confused. Alright, so first off, I'm going to back up, because I want to fix the... Wait, was this always a holiday? Were we always a holiday and holidays just weren't working? I think we started with a holiday. Where's our console? 218. They started us with a holiday. Holidays don't work. They gave me broken code. This is not fair. I'm not supposed to have broken code. Oh, crazy. What are you guys doing? What is this? What is this? All right, I need to debug. I need to know what's going on. I am... Okay. All right, let's say holiday price for adult on holiday. We're just going to start with one of these, so we're not going to do the type anymore. The type is just going to get passed in. So it's one jour. But the holiday, so the expected price, that needs to get adjusted. They're not 65. Now, here's the question. Can this... No! It can't do it. I need Resharper. Resharper could have done it. Resharper could have mathed this for me. So there's the cost. That's supposed to be a holiday. That's the person. So the holiday is that. I'm just going to put this back to a fact for now, instead of a theory, and not worry about that. Okay, run all the tests real fast. We're just going to let them run. It's going to fail, but I want to figure out then why it fails, because... So we're regression testing. So I apologize. My head is blocking this test. So you won't get to see it. Requires restarting the application. Okay. You know what? You win. Does the JetBrains Rider IDE have all the same shortcut keys as Resharper? Coding with Sean, pretty much yes. So if you are a big fan of Resharper, you can run Rider, and it will just give you all the same features that you're used to if you run ReSharper in Visual Studio. So all those exist. Oh, Fuel Snable, it better not be like it shouldn't be. And you're right. Let me see. Hang on. Wait. Internet money with doubles. Yeah. Now you're suffering one end, Fuel Snable. You drop some of your daytime code, obfuscated a bit, and you're learning program for your enjoyment later. Sounds good. I'll have a look at it. And if anyone is in here and hasn't clicked the subscribe button, make sure you do so so you can get notified when we go live and join our Discord and all that kind of stuff down below. There are awesome links down below also to our YouTube channel that we were talking about earlier. Sounds like it's working fine. It compiles and runs. Yeah. Local time might cause headaches. I don't think that's the case here because we're parsing it. So we're not looking at current time. Both of them are getting parsed. So the string parsing should work the same. And it's all year, month, day. As date time should be written. I'm a programmer. Everybody's always like, oh, day, month, day, year, that big argument. I'm like, no, year, month, day. Always year, month, day. Okay, let's go ahead and run these. We're going to run all the tests. We're going to have a look. We're going to see what it does. Yep, go ahead and compile. And it better not do that you know, oh, you need to restart the thing ever again. Test Explorer, just run. Maybe it's because I had the console running. Maybe that's why it was failing. Maybe I should have killed the actual web API and only run the tests. Okay, so here's the problem. This day is a holiday, and that means it should be different. So let's make this today, because they didn't hardcode in today. This is not the holiday. Let's run these again. You've been getting you need to restart after pretty much any change in WinUI 3. Oh, that's kind of awful, CalRaven. By the way, just another aside. I want to do so. I haven't done it yet, but I want to do a stream on here, basically running through a Maui tutorial. So I thought that would be pretty awesome. So I looked at Maui a whole bunch while they were creating it, and it looked like they were taking all the right directions with things. Maui is one of those things that before they mentioned it, I was like, they need to do that. They need to do that. They need to actually go and just make a version that does this. Like, that'd be really great. And then they did it, and I was like, yeah, perfect, good. Now I'm going to wait until you're done, and I'm going to use that thing. It'll be great. Yes, I think it's a really good idea. I think they implemented it well. And I will find out if they implemented it well when I try it. Okay, so we were expecting 22.75, and we got 35. That makes sense. So, as we could tell, it did not seem to be obeying our request to do age is null and age is less than 15, so it's that one. This is where we check this. This is where we check this one, and this is where we check this one. So this is the calculation for what we return in each of these. So we are going to debug this one and find out what's going on. What is a kata? That is a fantastic question. So kata is a term that comes from martial arts, and that's where they basically have like a sequence of moves that they do, and so like that term kind of got co-opted by software development into a type of programming exercise where what you're supposed to do is have like a known simple solution to a problem, and you're supposed to walk from beginning to end, and that's supposed to reinforce certain ways of thinking and ways of programming and steps. So it was commonly used as like a way of helping people to understand a process of developing code through test-driven development and refactoring along the way. And so that was sort of a way of helping to guide people that. And we have since evolved the term and now use it not only just for like a guided set of steps to get to a solution, but also for exactly, yes, kata means form. Yep, so it's martial arts form. But in this context, programmers have adapted it for almost any programming exercise you might do. Often gets referred to as a kata. And there is a subset of these katas called a refactoring kata, where you start with a solution that has some legacy code is not well tested, that kind of thing, and you are supposed to make changes to it without breaking the existing coding and sort of improve it a little bit along the way. So it's practice in dealing with legacy code and changing it effectively without breaking the existing code and trying to improve it along the way. So it's sort of following that Boy Scout rule of improving your code just a little bit where you're working. So very, very good stuff. You ported a WPF CCTV app to Maui and it worked, but used 10 times the resources on Windows and was equally bad on Android. Yeesh. Coded Beard, I would wonder why that got so much worse. I would ping one of the Microsoft people to see if there's something going on with that. They might be able to help track down what's going wrong. So I had a client that we worked with one time, 2012, 2013, around that time frame, that was using ASP.NET MVC in a way that they really should not have been doing. It was a terrible idea. And we got them to change it. But the interesting thing is, they wrote code that was so absurdly not the correct way that they actually discovered a nasty bug in ASP.NET that no one had found before. And so we ended up contacting the team, and they got that bug fixed. But it's just funny because it's like no one else discovered it because it was too minor. But hey, if you used it like a million times on the same page, you suddenly notice this problem. So there's some of those fun things that, like, there could be something going on that they just didn't account for, and they could actually be the ones that have the bug. So it was a known issue that the initial release, you've not tried 7 yet. Okay, so Code Beer, yeah, so there might be a way out of it. I was going to say, it sounds like a bug. It did not sound like they just made a bad platform. It sounded like something you were working with is probably what had the bug. So glad to hear that hopefully the upgrade to 7 will just resolve that. That is another reason why I wanted to wait until Maui had an official release before we built anything on it, because the number of times that you step in that road and there's either something that still changes about like the wow, my brain's not coming up with the word. I'll call it the API, the interface for it changes in some way. So there's a breaking change. It's very common in early versions of stuff. And so rather than having to deal with a whole bunch of those, I'm like, we'll just wait a little bit and then jump on. So do you work as a freelancer, by the way, or for a company? So Can't Fly. I work as a freelancer, but I do subcontract through other companies. So there are some companies that if you hire that company, they'll sometimes be like, "Hey, Brendan, when are you free?" And I'm like, it's like current contract ends in 6 weeks or something like that, and then they'll bring me on for the Jen's Doc. Hey, welcome, glad to see you're here. So yes, I work as a freelancer. So if anybody is ever looking for someone to come on and coach and mentor and train their team, so that's mostly what I do. Is I work with companies trying to improve their developers. So if you work at a company where your developers want to get better at some of this stuff, TDD and other stuff, I can come on and help explain things. So feel free to contact me on our Discord or in the jobs section on Discord as well. And that's a good place to chat about that if you are interested. So, yep. Following the previews was rough. Every update. Yes, exactly, Coded Beard. That's why I was not on the previews. So I intentionally, despite the fact that I was ridiculously excited about Maui, I was like, nope, 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 not touching it. Nope, nope. I've been through this pain too many times. I'm not going to do it. Not going to do it. Yes. And Jen, I saw you and said, hey, but yes, Jen's Duck, I'm back. I'm kind of. If you really want to catch me back, subscribe to my YouTube channel. You'll find a link down below. I have actually gotten the I have actually gotten the queue of YouTube videos regular. So basically every Tuesday and Thursday I've got videos that come out on our YouTube channel. So feel free to check those out. And I am putting, for now, the recordings of these live streams are getting put in sequence. So if you check on a Tuesday or Thursday and you were at the live stream and you see that that's the video that day, don't worry about it and just watch the next video. But yeah, I'm trying to do short videos on there, like 5 to 10 minutes most of the time. I've had some that, like I had one that I put up that was like 2 minutes, some that are like 5. So whatever I end up with, Okay, let's have a look. Okay, where are we? We're in the correct place. Base cost, 35. times. What's the reduction? Reduction 0. Why didn't we get a reduction? Hang on. Okay, we're gonna let this fail. We're gonna debug this one again. We're gonna debug this again. And I will keep talking to people in chat. We're gonna debug this again. What's going on? Yes. You gotta follow and not interact? What do you mean, Jensduck? You mean you watch the video and you don't get to interact on the videos because they're recordings. Yeah. This is not a recording though. I'm really here. See? Me. Almost not a mostly not a robot. Mostly. Like 45% robot. Like General Grievous. Okay, so what did we parse as the date? Date. 2/18/2019. Sorry everyone, it gives me American time. On the YouTubes. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, sorry. On the YouTubes you don't there's no chat. So Oh, day of the week. No, is it was winter a Monday? No, no, it's a Monday. No, Jen's Duck, you became an emote. That's fun. I don't have my hat's downstairs. I'm sorry. I put my hat on, but it's downstairs. I wore it just recently, and I didn't bring it back up here. I used to, by the way, for anybody that doesn't know, I used to keep a Rubber Ducks hat in my office because I'm a fan of the Rubber Ducks baseball team. And so I would put on the Rubber Ducks hat because I just, it was usually in my office, so I just go grab it and I toss it on whenever Jen would come in the channel. So fun stuff. But it's holiday and day of the week must be that. So can I back up a little bit? Hang on. Hang on, we're gonna check this. Immediate window. What's the day of the week? Day of the week, Monday. Yeah, look. This is what's getting me. They were checking for Monday. They don't give holiday pricing on Mondays. Alright, I'm going to do this refactoring because I am a crazy person and I can't stand this. Because no, we're not. I'm pulling that constant out. I'm not writing a test for that first. I'm pulling that constant out. That was terrible. I had to figure out which day of the week it was. That Monday was 1. Okay. So now we've got that. So we're saying that Monday is not a valid one. So what are the other holidays in the database? Here we go. February 25th. That's a Monday. Why are all the holidays Mondays? What are you doing to me, Codebase? Is that a Monday? That wasn't a leap year. So that means they were 28. So Monday. Those trolls. Ah. I can't believe they did this. Insert into holidays. Holiday description. Now here's the question. Will they give me a script to do it? No, that's modifying the structure. Can I add data? Is there a way to add data? Or do I just have to actually... insert. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Got it. Okay. So this is going to be... $19. This is going to be second winter. Second winter. There we go. Okay. Wait, did these not change? Wait, why didn't these change? Do I have to click apply? Yeah, okay. Second winter, and then click apply. There we go. Okay, so now we've got second winter. Okay. Alright. We're just going to change our test now that we have test data that works. I cannot believe they didn't give us test data that works. Like, that's just mean. That's just mean. Alright, so return holiday price for adult on holiday. Yeah. Alright, no debugging this time. We're just expecting this one to suddenly work. No, it didn't work. Why didn't it work? Debug again. Debug again. Braces. Dates this. Okay. Wait, if it's not... Wait, hang on. Wait. They only reduce the price... No, I had it backwards. I misunderstood. They don't reduce the prices on holidays. They gave me the correct data. I'm just dumb. Delete record. Their holidays were Mondays. They didn't even need to they didn't need to check that. They don't so they legitimately don't have the correct test data. Yeah, so that is actually SQLite. So for anyone that wasn't here in the beginning, this refactoring kata is supposed to use MySQL, but I feel like a refactoring kata should not have a requirement of spinning up a full database. So I specifically I changed the kata to use SQLite instead of MySQL before we started. That is an IDE for using MySQL. That is for SQLite, which is a very different thing. It's not really a database. It's kind of like a fake database. Kinda. Okay. So I removed that from the data, so now return discount for adult on... So what's weird is they don't have a holiday price. It's that on holidays they... Wait. If it's not a holiday and it's Mondays, hang on. Is it? It's only on Mondays when it's not a holiday. What was the date on Monday? The 19th. September 19th. Okay. For adult on Monday. Return discount price for adult on Monday. That's what it is. Return base price for adult. It has nothing to do with holidays. For adult. Yeah. I thought holidays were discount. I misunderstood it. No, no. So Crichton, if you were here in the beginning, just to be clear, I mentioned when I talked about adding SQLite that people can and should use SQLite in production under certain circumstances. It's actually a reasonable solution for a lot of little applications that are out there. You're not going to use it for like some giant app, but then again, if you're writing something simple, SQLite is a perfect solution for it. So it is entirely legitimate. What it isn't is like a full database implementation, like you'd get from MS SQL, MySQL, Oracle, etc. It is a much simpler thing. That's why it's called SQLite. It's the light version. And in this case, the reason why we're using it is because it comes out of a DLL. Rounded up. Apparently rounded up. $23. Okay. We have that working. Excellent. So now we've got working data and an understanding of what it was actually doing. For adult, return discount on a Monday. Which means full price on a holiday Monday. Return full price for adult on Monday holiday. So now I want this date. There we go. So now this one, full price for an adult on Monday holiday. That's on a regular day. This is a holiday. Okay, let's check it. Okay, there we go. That was bonkers and weird tracking that down. Okay, so I want to do a couple of other things before we change too much else in here. So first off, I don't like this logic. So I want to modify it. Anyone have a link I can click for the repo? I can give you one. Probably. Sadly, I have not made my version of this public yet, the one that has Sqlite, but I will add that when I get the chance. So if you are interested in doing the Sqlite version, which is what I'm doing, I have not sent that to them yet. I may put up a forked version myself or offer that to them as a pull request, because if you follow the instructions they've got, they're going to want you using MySQL, so be prepared to either set up a Docker container running MySQL or have it installed already. So here's how I'm going to flip this. I don't like the direction they did because they've got a duplicate for null and that. So what I'm going to say is if age is null or age is less than or equal to, because notice they said greater than, so less than or equal to 64, then we do this. Else, we do this one. There we go. Yeah, that else with the nested block is just like, thanks, guys. Hey, 4 bits. Thank you for the Twitch Prime sub. Much appreciated. By the way, you don't have to send them towards me, but if you are someone that watches on Twitch, this is September, so what do they do? So like Twitch is like, they've got some sponsor, but anyway, they're discounting subs if you do new subscriptions to channels. So don't send them. I mean, you can send them to me if you want. I won't complain. But also, and you get my emotes. But then, additionally, if there are any, Twitch streams that you watch, this is a good time to subscribe to them, and they give like a better discount if you subscribe for like months at a time. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I don't really need the else because I'm returning on that. So you are correct. I don't need that one. I will fix later. Right now, I want to just extract some variables because I don't like all the variables that we've got that are just pointless. So we've got the age and the type parameter. And like, yeah, there is a spot where they returned super early with this. So again, you don't need the else. So why don't we chop this else real quick? Because it was with a return. So we don't need that. So yay, we saved ourselves some indentation, which is really nice. So yeah, if age is less than 6, then cost was 0 no matter what. If it's not night, wow, what a way to write that. Okay. And again, we did a return here, which means that this else is not required. This else also returns, which means that this if returns, so that means that this else is not required. Ah, except that makes this variable use the same one. But I could do that, technically. And that is slightly better than what we had before. Yeah, so let's just drop these. You do that. We'll fix it later. This one, no matter what returns, so this else is not required either. You were just reading the source after you put the link, and the knight was the first thing that I spotted. Yeah. Somebody, yeah. Wait, can't fly. Why is what not allowed? Oh, why is this not allowed? Because there would be two variables with the name cost in the same context. Because this one prevents this one from happening. Because this is in the root. Static. The typing won't. It will not allow these two variables to be there. Yeah, I do return. You're right, but they're not technically separate. So like this gets created in here, but the problem is because this one exists outside of it, you can't create one in here that matches the name of this one. So inside the else, they could get away with that, but they can't here. But realistically, you know what we should do? That would make this better? Well, let's get it. So we should have a couple of tests on this before I refactor the correct way. So, to-do. Combine the costs. There should be one. We should figure out the cost, right? Based on these. So we should figure out what reduction to apply, and then apply it. That's where the logic should be. So we select that, and then we execute reader, and then we read. And then we read out the holidays and check to see if it's a holiday. And you know what? Just because I can. Once you find that you're on a holiday, go ahead and break. You don't need to check the rest of the holidays. Not that it matters, but it's the principle of the thing. Okay. Were there any other else's that were unneeded in here? This one is not needed. Since this returns, this else is not needed. Can this ever happen? I don't think this can happen. This code's unreachable. I'm pretty sure. If age is greater than or equal to 6 and age is not null, this is the null. I can't fly just now. Yeah. It doesn't matter. Come on. Not. Oh no, they checked the null here. Age is not null. If no, because it could be. Yeah, I think this happens if I think this happens if age is null. I think this is what happens if age is null. We get this. But I think age can be null somewhere else. Yeah. This is where they handle the null case. Ugh. Yes, it's a nullable int. Yes, it is. Mm-hmm. This is lovely code, you may have noticed. It's lovely code. Alright, let's try a test for that. You know what? I'm just gonna do a whole set for the zero cost ones. Return zero cost for under 6 or under 6. Was it under 6 or 6 and under? Under 6. Nothing else matters. Doesn't matter what day you asked for. Yes, an nullable int makes sense. It's just a little bit weird. That looked like your standard int parsing. Oh, yeah. Yeah, totally. You know, standard int parsing. Yeah, everybody loves just parsing ints. Oh, whoops. I forgot because I checked them. I do need that. Expected 23. What? Couldn't you have just fixed that for me, program? There we go. Okay, return 0 for under 6. Excellent. What else returned 0? This was 0. Age equals null. Okay. If age equals null, what? Hang on. How do we get down here? Hang on. Age was either less than 6, we already covered that, or age was null. Okay, so we need to find a way where age null did not take us into something. So this was an age null that we would have used this, so we needed to dodge this if statement. How do we dodge this? If it's not... So we need to pass night. Null at night. For night with no age. We're going to try to leave out age. And the price should be 0. This is the logic I needed to maintain, because I wanted to remove that pointless... Yeah, look, there it is. There it is. If you didn't specify the age, and it's nighttime... This could be a bug. I don't know, but it's existing features, so we're going to match it. Outside of a kata, like 80% of this could be fixed by Roslyn refactoring extensions. Yes, yes. Resharper and Roslyn, yes. You would just go in and... A lot of people would basically just put in the test suite and fix a whole bunch of these. Most of these get fixed by all kinds of refactoring tools. The vast majority of this should not be here like this. So one other thing I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to make us a method for this, because this is bonkers to not be a method. Come on, Visual Studio, where's Resharper when you need it? Extract method. Yep, that's the one I want. This method is called get get result string. I hate that name. This is gonna pass in a 0. Add a parameter. This is the cost. It was a 0. This is going to be a $sign. And then back whack on that. How do I want to do that? You know what? I'm going to take the choose approach. There you go. Okay. Cheating. I cheated. 0. Where are my zeros? Any other zeros? Anything else return 0? Nope, that's it. Let's see. Personally, I don't understand why all that JSON isn't an object. Yes, so I thought about just making a JSON object and just serializing it and returning it, but I'm going to leave this here for now because it's a little bit simpler to do this. But you're right, the long term should be creating an object and returning that as the result, because what if you need to pass more than just cost? But I don't know. And yes, I agree. There should be an object that's sticking around. But again, I'm trying not to make drastic changes yet. I'm trying to do the simple changes first, and then we can make a bigger change later. The other thing I want to pull out is this, but we'll get to that in a minute. Right now I want to change these returns. So this is the return value right here. There you go. Put this one here. And again, this is what goes in here. There's that one. And then this one goes there. And I think that's the same thing. Just cost 1 instead of cost. Yeah, that. There we go. Now I've got a couple more. Yep, these ones here. We'll get these. Good job, Brendan. There you go. This, and then that is that one. Okay. There we go. That was a double. Why is that a double? Why? Why is that a double? Can I get rid of all those? I think I may have gotten rid of all those. Okay. You know what? We're going to check this at the top. And since we got rid of those, I'm only checking age there. I'm going to check age and immediately just jump out if we got it. Alright, where is it broken? Because I extracted D already. Okay, there we go. D has been extracted. Now, nice thing, if I were using ReSharper on that, it would have been like... yeah. If I were using ReSharper, it would have been like, do you want to get all the instances of this? And I would have been like, yes, please, thank you. And yeah, the doing tax calculations, distributing money, I've done a few applications where we did that, and I can tell you, I wrote ridiculous numbers of unit tests over every little calculation and every edge case you could think of to make sure that it worked correctly. Suggestions on how to obtain a more advanced project structure like knowledge. Other than just working on projects and learning as you go, it gets more and more difficult to find better ways to do/approach stuff on the internet. Short answer is there are companies that specialize in training that sort of things. One of the companies that I sometimes subcontract with, literally the thing they do is work with companies to help them change their project structures. So if they're trying to, change to certain things, essentially, what'll happen is they'll get a workshop in doing that new structure with test applications that are in that structure, so they can learn how to add features in that, and then also what they need to change their existing stuff to, and then usually bring on mentors to pair with them and guide them as they work through that transition to the new architecture. So yes, that is the recommendation that I have. And if people are looking for that, that is the way I would recommend that they do it. Is try that. If you are on your own and you're thinking to do it as not a company endeavor, but individually, yeah, it's pretty much work on stuff. And sometimes that means build your own project in the structure that you want. You can watch some videos where people talk about those. I don't know. It depends on how you learn. People have written books on architectures of applications. And McCullen, I do need more regions. But this is actually a refactoring kata that we're trying, not making. Yeah. So it's very much a, yeah, you gotta kind of figure it out. Okay, so they're saying if it's night, we need some names. So we had this if. Okay. Why did we check type again? I thought we extracted that at the beginning. Didn't I extract that at the beginning? Yes, I did. This is the type parameter right here. Why aren't we using this? That's in the put. Tried to trick me. Okay. So we get the type parameter. We're then going to say if the type parameter, yeah. Type parameter, like, why is this written this way? My brain is going to melt doing this. Yes, I know we didn't too lower. We didn't do compare anything. It's fine. It works the same way it did today. It's annoying though to keep on working on projects with others and be the most knowledgeable person. Yeah, that can happen at some companies. Yeah, so usually what I recommend is you want to try. So the idea of knowing more than other people isn't like. Usually, what I recommend to people is you don't need to know. You don't want to know the most of everyone on your team, but you also want to be on a team where you are able to sort of be with everybody else. So the goal is not like I know nothing compared to them, or I know everything compared to them. You know, there's a Venn diagram where it's like, I want to have a bunch of knowledge they don't have. I want them to have a bunch of knowledge I don't have. And then when we work together, we have a whole bunch of knowledge between us. And I can learn from them and they can learn from me. And that's the ideal circumstance. You don't just want to go to a place where everybody is, you know, like being in a place where everybody's much smarter than you is great. But then what you have to remember is that those people are going to be feeling the same problem that you are, that they're going to be like, oh, geez, I want to leave. Yes, exactly. You want to know more than other people in certain areas. Exactly. Yep. That is what you want. So, yes, I know. Yes, I know. Coded Beer's freaking out. You know what? I think I can actually do it from here, too. Let's see. String comparison and, look. Are you happy? Are you happy? You want me to do this? There you go. There. Are we happy now? Everybody's okay? Can we calm down? Are you a string empty or lowercase? I do not I don't use the .NET like namespace type. No. int32 goes away every time I see it. Capital S on a string, it just goes away. Yeah, so string.empty is for Visual Basic. Exactly. All right. And everybody's happy. You know what? Hang on. I want to troll. We're trolling. We're doing this. There we go. Type param is not night. Yeah. You wanted to complain? This is what you get. Oh, did someone accidentally post a link? Might have just been saying .net. I don't know. And Nightbot got a little confused and overzealous there. Sorry about that. It happens. Yeah. There we go. You get an is not. You complained, so now you get is not. ADC, hey, welcome. Totally does hate him. I'm gonna start the war and mention drop the dot. Though it doesn't solve anything because it's way too long. Hey ADC. Okay. It's not night, so this is daytime. So we're doing this as the full day one. So we're using this. I really hate these like just giant thing. You know what? I'm gonna shrink these because I don't like how far over to the right we are. There we go. Do they have a... No, they don't. Yes, I know technically I've extended the life of these, but I'm not terribly worried about it. It makes this code somewhat readable. So at the end of the day, we're just trying to find out if it's a holiday, right? Is this used after this parameter? No, it's not. So realistically, I can bring this in here and it doesn't break. Let's find out. If it does, I can get away with this. Yes. Okay, cool. In that case, here's what we're going to do, just to make this way better. No! It got really confused. I cannot believe it wrote it that way. Yeah, this is awful. Cannot believe it tried to do that. Can you believe it tried to do that? Look at that. Oh, to have link any instead of the while loop. Yeah. There's a million fixes we can do to this. You know what? I don't need the break anymore. If we ever find it's a holiday, return true. Return false. If we didn't find one, it's the end. Get out of here, thingy. Check if holiday. Gets those, does that, return that. Boom, done. We're pretty sure we should have burned it all in service. Yeah, Coated Beard probably, but that's not the point of this. Yes. Can't Fly. Yes, you are absolutely correct. There are totally companies. Yeah. I wasn't kidding when I say I really do like that. That's actually the main thing that one of the companies that I subcontract with does is. There are businesses that are trying to, improve their processes, their structures, their various things, and they literally contact this other company to help them do these transformations. And so I do actually subcontract through them. So there's the added bonus that if you contact them and say, or you can contact me and I also do that. But if you but there are plenty of businesses that like working with full businesses, not individuals. But if they contact them. You could always mention that that you want to work with me, and they can reach out and figure out when I'm available, and I will let them know, and then you could even get to work with me on it. That's the date. Okay, so now we've got... We take this date here, we pass it in there. Is that the only place using that right now? I thought we had another spot. Yeah, down here. Using holidays. Where'd they get holidays? Check if holidays, yeah. So then we do that. Then we check this little beast. Okay. That's not bad. I don't like it, but it's hidden away now, at least. It is a holiday. Yeah, actually, funny enough, Vue.js is the framework that I prefer, and it's actually the one that I push. The current client I am working with is using Vue. Now, the funny thing is, one of the clients that actually, I'm working with more than one client. I said the client, but one of the clients that I'm working with right now is using Vue. And the funny thing is, they started using Vue before I started working with them. They were actually working with the other company that I mentioned, and they were starting to, they were working on, grabbing one of the new modern frameworks. They had been on Knockout forever, and then we're like, yeah, we need to switch to a modern one. They went to Vue, and I was like, great, Vue's the one I would recommend, and glad they did that. So, like, different people had recommended it, and so I was like, I'm glad you did, because that's what I would have recommended they go to also, just because of how easy it is to get started with. That doesn't mean it's the most popular. React is probably currently the most popular one. Angular had a huge base before that, but Vue is very, very common as well, and so I like that it is simple to get started with. And the funny thing is, this company wanted to get a company that specialized in front-end stuff, whereas the group I work with mostly does back-end stuff, but I know Vue. And so the funny thing is, because they were working with that company, they then went with a different company where another friend of mine works, and so actually another friend of mine was brought in as a consultant to help their front-end team figure out Vue, and I laughed because I was like, oh, because at one point I was like, yeah, I can help you guys get started. And I was like, oh, actually, I was like, oh, wait, you mean Ryan? Yeah, cool. I know, and I know their whole team. So it was funny. I was like, yeah, no, you chose good people. They'll get you going. I was like, cool. Yep, they'll help you with that. I'll keep helping with the back end stuff. And it was funny because it's like, then I even had to help fix some things because the front end and the back end interfacing with stuff. And I was like, yeah, I can help with that because the consultants they brought in didn't know the back end that they were using. I'm like, yeah, I will help. And so there's good stuff. So I love working with Vue, and I mean, React is perfectly fine. Angular is good, but the community is awesome, and you can get a lot of help with, all kinds of stuff. So I like the dev community. It's not always the nicest, but generally speaking, a lot of people are, nice about stuff. This is the date. Why are you checking if that's null? Then we would have broken if this were null. We're already broken. That can't be null. Because this would break, wouldn't it? If that were null? It's not a holiday and the day of the week is Monday. The funny thing is this code's already like 100 times better than it was. How am I doing on time? Ah, I'm out of time. Well, in that case, I want to run a couple of things. So first off, if you're still in here, don't leave yet, please. First off, if you haven't, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and you'll find links to that down below. If you're not in our Discord, join our Discord as well. Again, links down below. Do I have things for that? Discord? Does that work? Stream elements? Nope. Okay. I don't have my bot running right now, so you don't get links to cool stuff. But again, you'll find links down below to our Discord, to our... and, hey, 4bits, thank you for following the stream. If you haven't clicked the follow button, do it, because I have been super irregular about my streams. They're not going on the right schedules. So make sure that you enable notifications, too, so you get notified when I go live. And the other place, if you want to find out before I go live that I'm going to go live, join our Discord, because that's the way to get notified, because I usually message people in there to let them know. Our YouTube channel, I have been posting regular videos on Tuesdays and Thursdays, so if you're watching that, you'll be able to see some cool videos that I've been making. I've been working on my production a whole bunch, so you may have noticed, if you've been watching all the videos, you'll notice that production quality and everything has been changing as we go. So my videos are hopefully getting better, audio's getting better, video's getting better, all the different stuff in there is getting better. So hopefully that is all improving. If you're paying attention, it should be. I also have some new videos in there. If you're in our Discord, you'll be able to find a link to be able to suggest future videos that I do on my YouTube channel. So again, make sure you're doing that. S&B that is broken right now. We checked at the beginning of the stream. I think I may need to re-auth the bot that does that. I'm not sure what its problem is. It chatted, so that's why I was confused why it didn't work. But again, yeah, I know. I wish I could have changed it too. We get red the whole time. What else did I need to mention to people? If you're not subscribed to the channel and you want to get our emotes, remember today is this is part of the September event on Twitch, so they're giving discounts on subscriptions during the month, including extra discount if you're if you're doing a subscription for multiple months, not just for my channel but for any other channels that you watch on Twitch. It's a good idea. What else did I need to mention? There'll be ending credits that'll thank everybody for, following and subscribing and that sort of thing. I think that's about it. I mentioned Discord and YouTube and Twitch. So, awesome. You'll find links also to my Twitter and stuff. That's my name there. And I will catch you all next time. For next week, next week might be the one where we try a Maui stream. Don't take that as 100%, but I definitely want to get a stream in next week. It'll be towards the end of next week, not at the beginning. I'm a little bit busy in the beginning of the week, but maybe Thursday or Friday we should be able to get another stream in. So either way, have an awesome day, everyone. I will see you next time, and happy coding.